All right, let's now shift focus to a story that Mirror Now has been consistently tracking, a distressing tale coming in from Mumbai, where a massive fire broke out on the 19th floor of a 60th story building in South Mumbai's Bagh area. In the chilling visuals that surfaced from the incident, a man can be seen hanging from the balcony. He fell off and succumbed to his injuries. Another man is reported to be injured. The fire has been brought under control. A short while back, Maharashtra Minister Aaditya Thackeray also visited the spot. Our reporters are tracking these live updates and getting you reports from the spot. Now, the person who lost his life, the victim, who can be seen falling down in the video, has been identified as 30-year-old Arun Tiwari. The security guard who helped people stuck on that floor escape. Upon information of fire, he immediately rushed to the 19th floor and helped the people trapped in a flat. But unfortunately, he himself got stuck in the fire. In the visuals, he can be seen hanging by the balcony. He then lost his grip and then eventually fell off the building. Times Network also spoke to the residents of the building where this massive fire took place in Mumbai. These people were not very happy over the negligence of the authorities, were really angry when they spoke to us, and they asserted that the fire safety system has not been functional. Meanwhile, Sena MLA called out the residents for not adhering to the fire compliance system.
हो गया है। हम लोग यहाँ पे जब धुआं निकला, हम लोग यहाँ पे खड़े हुए और वहाँ पर एक हाउस कीपिंग का बंदा था, तिवारी नाम का लड़का था, वो कोशिश कर रहा था आग से बाहर आने के लिए। तब तक फायर ब्रिगेड गाड़ियां भी आ गई। हम लोग बोले उसको बचाओ बचाओ, उसने खुद को बचाव करने के लिए उस बिल्डिंग की से फ्लोर से बाहर आया, दीवार के सहारे वो लटका था 15 मिनट। हम हेल्प मांग रहे थे, आपका तो जाली तो लगाइए उसको बचाने के लिए, लेकिन यहाँ पर सिर्फ गाड़ियां निकालना, गाड़ी को बचाना, उस बंदे को बचाने कोई कोशिश नहीं कर रहे थे और हम भी कुछ नहीं कर पाए। 15 मिनट हमारे आंखों के सामने बंदे का हाथ टूटा और नीचे गिर गया। बुरा ये लगता है कि
आप बता रहे थे कि
एक महीने में दूसरी बार उस बिल्डिंग देख रहे हैं, उन्हीं का बिल्डिंग, वही डेवलपर का दूसरी बिल्डिंग है, वहाँ पे आग लगी थी, वहाँ पे आग लगी थी, वो भी बड़ी आग लगी थी, कैजुअलिटी वहाँ पे हुई नहीं।
सर, ये हेरिटेज ब्रिज था, हेरिटेज ब्रिज उनको गेट के लिए तोड़ा गया, लेकिन उनको फायर के लिए जगह करने के लिए है, फायर के लिए जगह भी नहीं है अंदर। ये जो है बिल्डर, इसके लिए सब पॉलिटिकल लोग, जो पार्टी के लोग, उनके साथ हाथ मिले हुए।
लगभग 11:45 की ये घटना है। 19वें माले पे आग लगी थी। उस फ्लैट में फर्नीचर का कुछ काम चल रहा था और शॉर्ट सर्किट के वजह से आग लगी, ऐसे कहा जाता है।
शॉर्ट सर्किट की वजह से लगी?
शॉर्ट सर्किट की वजह से आग लगी, उसी फ्लैट में आग लगी है। बिल्डिंग में दूसरी जगह पे।
सर, ये बताइए, नेग्लिजेंस बताया जा रहा है क्या? यहाँ पे फायर ड्रिल हुई थी?
नहीं, फायर ड्रिल अभी जो वहाँ के जो लोग रहते हैं, फ्लैट ओनर्स, जो नीचे जिनको उतारा गया है, उनका कहना है कि यहाँ की फायर सिस्टम बंद है 2 साल से। फायर सिस्टम जो रहती है बिल्डिंग में, आपको पता है हाई राइज टावर पे 7 माले के ऊपर जो बिल्डिंग रहती है, उसको फायर सिस्टम लगाई जाती है, तो वो फायर सिस्टम बंद है।
2 साल से बंद?
2 साल से बंद है, ऐसा
अच्छा
कहना है। और इसकी जांच होनी चाहिए। फायर सिस्टम बंद है तो उसकी कार्रवाई होनी चाहिए। अब इंक्वायरी होगी, पूछताछ होगी, फायर वाले आ गए हैं, उनकी यंत्रणा।
सर, आप विधायक हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी से हैं, शिवसेना से, सर माफ कीजिएगा, शिवसेना से हैं। आपकी म्यूनिसिपल में भी सरकार है। एक नॉर्म्स होते हैं, फायर कंप्लायंस होते हैं, या फायर ड्रिल कराई जाती है, तो क्या वो सब चीजें यहाँ पे इम्प्लीमेंट नहीं की गई थी?
नहीं, वो तो मुझे पता नहीं है। लेकिन मुझे ऐसे लगता है कि जैसे महानगर पालिका की जिम्मेदारी है, जैसी अग्निशमन दल की जिम्मेदारी है, वैसे उस बिल्डिंग में रहने वालों की, लोगों की भी जिम्मेदारी है। फायर सिस्टम बंद है तो क्यों नहीं कंप्लेंट की? फायर सिस्टम नहीं चल रही है, सोसाइटी हैंडओवर नहीं हो रही है, तो बहुत सारे प्रशासन में व्यवस्था है, तो वहाँ कंप्लेंट करनी चाहिए। तो मुझे लगता है कि लोग भी जागरूक होने चाहिए, लोगों ने भी।
लेकिन मुझे एक बात बताइए सर, अगर वन अविघ्ना जैसी इमारत का मुंबई शहर में ये हाल है, तो आम इमारतों के क्या हाल होंगे? वन अविघ्ना में तो इंसान जब फ्लैट लेता है तो इस बात की सिक्योरिटी भी रहती है कि इस तरह का कोई हादसा नहीं होगा।
सही बात है, आपका कहना बिल्कुल सही है, और इसीलिए मुंबई महानगर पालिका और अग्निशमन दल, इन्होंने ऐसे सभी इमारतों को जांच करनी चाहिए।
And Times Network also spoke to the builder about the incident. He said that proper fire audits were conducted in the building and that all equipment were in place. He also added that the incident occurred due to a short circuit.
अग्रवाल जी, अरुणील टाइम्स नाउ से बोल रहा हूँ।
नहीं, मैं समझ गया भाई साहब, 10 मिनट रुक जाइए ना।
खाली इतना जानकारी लेना है। कंट्रोल में बोल रहा हूँ, बट किसी की मृत्यु तो नहीं हुआ है ना इसमें? एक का मृत्यु हुआ है, एक की डेथ हुई, बाकी सबका इवैक्यूएशन हो गया।
100% हो गया, और नहीं 100% इवैक्यूएशन हो गया है, और दूसरा फायर पूरी की पूरी खत्म हो गई है।
मेरे को आपने बोला 100% इवैक्यूएशन हुआ है, कितने लोग रहते थे ये बिल्डिंग? बिकॉज आप बिल्डर हो, कितने लोग रहते थे
बिल्डिंग में? 400 फ्लैट है।
400 फ्लैट है। सब ऊपर वाले फ्लोर्स का सबका इवैक्यूएशन हो गया?
सबका 100% हो गया।
और फायर का रीजन क्या था?
अंदर शॉर्ट सर्किट किसी का लगा है।
क्या लगा है?
हम लोगों ने तो बाहर से तो शॉर्ट सर्किट होता है ना नॉर्मल में।
ठीक है, शॉर्ट सर्किट हुआ है। और आपके पास फायर इक्विपमेंट्स और अप्लायंसेस थे अंदर प्लेस? क्योंकि इतनी पॉश बिल्डिंग है। हमारे पास में जरूरत से ज्यादा फायर इक्विपमेंट्स हैं। अभी 1 तारीख को मॉक ड्रिल हुई थी, फायर ऑडिट हुई थी, एवरीथिंग इज अंडर दिस वन। और मेरा सारा का सारा फायर सिस्टम है वो नॉर्वे से इंपोर्ट किया हुआ है। नॉर्वे से इंपोर्ट किया, फिर भी फायर लगी?
फिर भी फायर तो अगर आपके घर में आप माचिस लगाओगे तो उसको फायर वाला
तो फायर किसी ने जानबूझ के तो नहीं लगाई होगी ना। आप बोल रहे हो शॉर्ट सर्किट हुआ, तो ये चीज का मैनेजमेंट नहीं किया गया था।
शॉर्ट सर्किट लगा तो उसको कैसे कोई कंट्रोल कर सकता है?
ये चीज का मैनेजमेंट नहीं किया गया था कि प्लस एग्जिट फ्लोर्स कहाँ पे थे? कहाँ पे एग्जिट करने की रूट से बिल्डिंग में?
एग्जिट सब जगह पे है। जो नॉर्मल एनबीसी कंट्रोल है उसके हिसाब से सारे एग्जिट सिस्टम सारे लगे हुए हैं।
And Mirror now also confronted Maharashtra Minister Aaditya Thackeray over the preparedness of the fire department to deal with such fire incidents. He said that the most modern ways to deal with such incidents is to have internal fire systems.
Aditya, I have one question. I just want to know, fire department has claimed, Aditya, 1 second, the fire department has claimed that they have modern equipments, right? But hydraulic platform of fire department can go only as high as 30 floors, right? So for 60, no, that's an important question, Aditya. That's an important question.
Don't shout, I can understand your question. You don't need to shout to be heard. The point is, like I said, we are always modernizing the equipment with high-rise buildings and such buildings that have multiple wings. The most modern way of dealing with fire is to have internal systems and to have fire refuge areas. That is how you can save people.
But Aditya, we also have to talk about what is present there, right? Shiv Sena's Aaditya Thackeray visited the spot, the building where a fire broke out on the 19th floor of this ground plus 60-story building. So talking about what Aaditya Thackeray said that he was talking about the basic fire security, fire safety drills. He was emphasizing on how important they are and how what a huge role they can play to avoid such situations. Apart from that, he also said that hydrant system and sprinklers are very important. And in this case, initially, the water pressure was really less. Later it did increase, but initially it was less. Why exactly the sprinklers were not working the way they should have? That is something fire department is going to probe. Now, one thing which we are constantly asking Aaditya Thackeray was when exactly fire department will complete its probe? When exactly will we get to know that what exactly caused this fire? Why exactly the sprinkling system, which is a firefighting system, not working in this building? Because remember, this has already caused us one life. A man died because of this fire today. Apart from that, to that Aaditya Thackeray said that very soon were his words. He did not mention that within how many days we should expect an inquiry report. Apart from that, another thing which we wanted to ask him, and we did ask Aaditya Thackeray, that fire department has claimed that they have all the modern equipments to deal with fire in skyscrapers. Now, the fact of the matter is that the hydraulic platforms of fire department can only go as high as 90 meters, that is around 30 floors. The fact is, this building itself is 60-story building, ground plus 60. So what about the floors that are above 90 meters of the capacity which a hydraulic platform of BMC's fire department can reach up to? To that, he did not answer. He once again focused on how fire safety drills are very important. Hydrant system is very important. We didn't get a direct answer on that. But one thing Aditya Thackeray said that fire department is going to probe the matter. Once again, he did not answer how long it's going to take for the department to conclude its investigation.
All right, I'm joined by Mr. M.V. Deshmukh, Director, Fire Safe India Foundation. In his former role, he was associated with the Maharashtra government in the capacity of the Director and Fire Advisor for 14 years. He's also known as the architect of the Maharashtra Fire Act 2006. Mr. Deshmukh, thank you for making time and speaking to Mirror Now. We are speaking on a day when those images of a security guard falling down from the 19th floor of a high-rise building have once again forced us to think about the safety of our residential areas. What is your first reaction to this fire tragedy?
See, the reaction to this tragedy and the tragedies occurred in past is that two things. One is that the regulator or the rule implementing agencies, unfortunately, they are very weak. Second part is that the citizens, those who buy the flats in such a buildings or they are forced to buy, they should be aware of. There should be a lot of citizen empowerment, as when we buy a car or you buy any other thing, we think about several things. You buy a simple laptop and you think about so many things. But while buying the flat, we see the aesthetics of the building, the other facilities like whether there's a children park or there's a clubhouse or what is there and what is not there. But do we really bother to ensure that the building is safe from all the angles, from fire and life safety point of view? So this is lacking, and this needs to be penetrated through the society as a societal culture. This one. Second thing, I heard you, and you are saying that the height of the high-rise platform. My answer to that is straight. I will cite you an example of a FDNY, which is the world's best fire service, that is the Fire Department of New York. Manhattan, you have several buildings like Mumbai and even taller, but they do not have the ladders beyond 45 to 60 meters. So ladder is just a support system, and ladder is not the means of evacuation to the people. But they have the modern mechanism of installing the lifts in the building. What we say in case of fire, do not use lifts. They say that in case of fire, use an X lift to the Y lift and do not use the other lifts. So we need to have that kind of a mechanism. The National Building Code of 2016 edition is very, very amply clear as to for all tall buildings above 15 meters and with certain occupancy load must have minimum 2 staircases. I am shocked to see that in Mumbai-like city, there are several buildings, even up to 40 floors and 48 floors and 60 floors, they stand with a single staircase. There are many buildings like that. There may be few with the 2 staircases or 3 staircases, but the staircases is the best means of evacuation. But yes, you have physically challenged people, you have pregnant female ladies, or you have the children, or you have the infirm persons or senior citizens, those who cannot walk through the staircases. You have to have the specialized lifts, and those lifts should be installed in a pressurized fire tower like a structure. Mumbai is the only city where they allow the fire chutes as a means of evacuation, which is not prescribed in any national and international codes. So this is an eye-opener that there are cases like building like Mont Blanc, which is a very old building, then the new building in last 2 decades, that's the Lakeview apartment in Powai, and so many buildings there. When I say the regulator is weak, I don't blame the regulator. Today I will see the tactical firefighting is concerned. I would say the Indian firefighters, with specific reference to Mumbai, they are the best. These are the firemen who lay their life to save the life of the others. But a regulatory job is not in the hands of the firemen or the driver operators. This is the job in the hands of the fire officers, and they need to be thoroughly, one thing is trained, they need to be monitored. While Mr. Sitaram Kunte was the municipal commissioner, I had given very clear suggestion in the capacity of the then director of the state that your fire prevention wing should be separated from the operational responsibilities. And fire prevention, you have to have the all engineering branches experts. They should be trained accordingly, and they should be doing the fire prevention job. Fire prevention job as the FDNY, the Fire Department of New York, their fire prevention bureau is entirely different. They have 250 people. They are only doing the fire prevention work. That is the need of an hour. Mumbai did something. They created some positions, but still, the fire prevention job in the hands of the operational fire officers. So one who is going to do the operations, one who is going to do the firefighting, if he is going to inspect or keep the check on the fire prevention, there would be definitely conflict of interest. I can cite another example. Like with the police department, you have different wings. You have an anti-corruption bureau. Can you give the entire anti-corruption activity in the hands of the regular police? Those are the regular law implementers. No, they have a separate wing for that. The similar analogy applies here, that we have to have an independent fire prevention bureau for a city like Mumbai, and Mumbai can be the role model for the entire nation. It is the oldest fire service in the country, more than 125 years. They have set certain benchmarks, but very sorry to say, it pains to my heart that last 2-3 decades, the graph of the performance of these fire services are diminishing. Even I take certain ownership. Though I was a director, I had limitations within the provisions of law. But yes, there are very good bureaucrats, those who have been ruling this corporation, and they should think about it. Any help of that effect is required, or examples are required, or they want to tour and see some of the important fire brigades. I mean, they should do that. But when they come back, they should see that it is implemented. These are the few things. If you have any specific questions to ask me, feel free.
Yes.
Feel free.
Yes. You mentioned very important point. You mentioned the role of the regulator. But from the point of view of a resident, they should not come in any person's life. But in case there is a massive fire, what would you suggest are the do's and don'ts for people to get out of that situation? What are the lessons one can learn from this tragedy?
Very good question. I'll tell you the first thing, that when you buy a flat, you try to understand what are the life safety requirements as per the basic standards and codes. You would say, do I have a time to do that? Yes, you have to borrow, you have to create some time for that. And our organization for which I work now, that is the Fire Safe India Foundation, we give free suggestions and the advice to the people, those who approach to us. Number one. Number two, if the building is at least 24 meters and above, there should be minimum 2 staircases of 1.5 meter width. Anybody can ask me why 1.5 meter and not 1.25. I am talking about only now the residential building. You should have that. Mumbai is a city where there are many buildings where the sprinklers are given in the passages and the common areas. It doesn't serve any purpose. See, when you have fire in the small bedroom or anything inside the flat, and that fire matures, it travels through the other rooms and comes to the lobby. And that time, if your sprinkler is going to operate, the sprinkler is not going to be effective, because by the time the fire would have matured to a 3 to 4 megawatt energy. So basic purpose of putting a sprinkler is that at its incipient stage of the fire, the sprinkler will get into action and the fire can be extinguished. So there is no reason for why the smoke should be generated. Third thing, that when you buy any items, any furniture or any tapestry, upholstery for decoration material for your house, you must ensure that they are fire retardant materials. They do not liberate or generate the toxic fumes. As their aesthetics, their looks are important. At the same time, they should not be liberating the poisonous gases when they burn. Fourth thing is that as a part of the ritual of any building, apartment, or the society, whatsoever it may be, as a part of the ritual, twice in a year, they must actively, voluntarily, with deep interest, they must conduct the fire evacuation drill. Fire evacuation drill is not a drill that you call fire brigade, you make a big show out of it, they open their ladders, not required.
All right.
How do you do self-evacuation of the occupants? And for that also, there are guidelines set. Our website has those guidelines, and firesafeindia.org is our website, and those guidelines are there. In addition to that, also the local fire brigade would be glad to help them to participate in the fire drills and guide them. 2, 3, 4 times initially you may do with the help of the professionals. Subsequently, you can easily do it. It is not a Herculean or the rocket science that one cannot participate in the. But 99% buildings in Mumbai, they do not participate or they do not conduct any fire evacuation drill. You would be surprised to know that in last month only we conducted
All
a
right, Mr.
program
Deshmukh.
in light of the Bangalore fire tragedy where two ladies died in the balcony. We conducted a program, a webinar, and we invited to a number of societies in Mumbai. It is a citizen empowerment program. And
Yes.
we requested them that you participate and understand what are the do's and don'ts. To an utter surprise, the minimal response we got for that program. Earlier, we did the program on hospital. My response was 1,300 people responding to our invitation. And
Okay.
the
Yes.
societies, we got 400 registrations and only about 200, 250 people participated. So this is the seriousness amongst the
Okay.
citizens also that they should think about it. Any other question you have, please?
No, all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Deshmukh, for that very comprehensive and detailed advice to all the viewers who are watching this broadcast in case of a fire, what they should be doing, and especially for home buyers, that they should be very, very careful before buying a house for its fire compliance. We are getting breaking inputs.